So today, today I actually wanted to talk about something more physical, like the gym, right? Today I want to talk about the gym and how essentially the your body plays such a big role in how you look, obviously, but more so also your confidence and how you carry yourself and stuff like that. Seeing as I wouldn't say I'm the unfittest guy. I think I have, a bunch of years of physical training under my belt. So yes, I consider myself qualified. Talking about, starting off, I would say when you're starting off in the gym, try to try to look for something that works for you. I'm with the philosophy of Mike Mentzer when it comes to bodybuilding and muscle building, right? Where you don't have to spend 3 hours in the gym. You really don't. 45 minutes is realistically all you need, where you're focused, you're doing your thing. 45 minutes, where all you really do is, 2, 3 sets, ideally two, but two good sets of whatever exercise, preferably something that you have a really deep stretch and a very strong contraction. Ideally, 2 sets to complete failure. Whether you draw the line at complete failure where you can't, you do not have one more in you, or, RPE, reps in reserve, I don't know, 2, 3, whatever. That's up to you. I would keep it at reps in reserve, maybe 1 or 2, but you keep it where you're essentially exhausting yourself on this one exercise. Obviously not for the entire workout, but on this one exercise, you really give it your all, you really push, really do your best. All you really need to do is do your best, man. You don't need to be doing anything else. Try your best, do your best. But mostly, what I'd like to think is when it comes to gym, right, is that when you're working out and you're really pushing, then you just have a good time. Because, I mean, if you're not having a good time, what are you really doing, You have to learn to love it. I've learned that, not the hard way, but it's taken me time. Because at the start, you're a bit there, you feel uncomfortable, you feel a bit, it's not the most comfortable environment, especially when you're starting out. Although I would say RPR 2, reps in reserve 2, 2 failure, 2 sets of an exercise of your choice where you get a deep stretch and good muscle stimulation, and additionally 8 to 10 rep range. Done, set. Great for hypertrophy. Now you will grow. Cool. Another thing, pick a split that you like. I personally do not like the Arnold split, where it's basically, I just don't like it. It doesn't work for me, it's too much. I prefer the Dorian Yates, which is essentially a 4-day work week where it works, it's nice. You have shoulders and triceps on one day, very arm heavy. Back on its own day, chest, biceps, and then legs. I think this is a really well-rounded split. Look at Dorian. He's fucking, huge. But like, this is not to, impose anything on you. But I found that I work the best and I've grown the most with this specific split. Because something you also need to keep in mind is rest is very important. It's key to you recovering and growing. How you choose to do your recovering, that's up to you. Although recovery essentially means not you sit at home, play with your dick, fucking play some games. No. Recovery is a mental thing just as much as it is a physical thing, right? Ideally, if you're trying to get in shape, you're not gonna, recovery doesn't mean, oh yeah, I sit at home, I eat the whole day. No, because that's not how that works. You sit, but you go out, you go for a walk, you go for a swim, light workout, cardio, stuff like that, where you're active, but you're not putting a strain on your muscles, I feel like that's the best balance. For me, at least, I found that to be the best. Another thing, when it comes to gym, try to work on your strength. Because, for me at least, I realized, having muscles is good and all, but you're only good at that one movement, like let's take bench press, right? Or incline bench. In real life, right? I don't know, I see this a lot when I'm doing jiu-jitsu. I guess fine, strength plays a big role, but like strength built in the gym is completely different to strength built elsewhere, I would say. Simply because in the gym, you get good and you get strong at that one exercise. Doesn't translate to real life, doesn't translate to a martial art, at least not directly. Because when I have a guy on top of me and I'm trying to push him off, it's still not the easiest thing to do. Obviously, it's easier because, yes, fine, you're stronger, but it's not something that directly translates, if that makes sense. And that's okay. It depends on your goal. For me, that I train jiu-jitsu as well, alongside the gym, I like to keep it that way. Right now, I've been delving a little more into calisthenics and, free weight, body weight movements, where I really work on my strength, right? Simply because I've noticed that, yes, fine, I have all these muscles, but again, lat pull over, lat pull down, I'm great. Muscle up, I can't even do it, It's one of those things. I'm trying to get strong at the moment, but that's besides the point. If you're trying to get strong and big, right, in whatever way, I would say number one priority, get in the gym, start weight training, start lifting, start with compound movements, simply because those build the most strength and are the ones that translate the most, right? Instead of all these supported machines. I'm not saying that they're bad. They're great for building muscle. They're great for targeting a specific area. Although, if you really want to dial in onto your strength and your size, now we're not going to get into the whole sciencey bit. Although, there has been, proof that, if you attach all these different things and you do it at one angle, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, fine, you grow, but it's marginal, unless your form is really, really off. Another thing, form, very important. Form is key, absolutely key when it comes to, your training. Since, form, if you got shit form, you're not going to grow. Or you're going to grow something else by mistake, but that's super unlikely. Most likely thing that's going to happen is you're going to injure yourself. And then you're out for a while, and then it's just not the most ideal thing. But yeah, things like that. Another thing I would say to really dial in on is your consistency in the gym. Simply because, I see it with myself, I see it with others. I saw it with myself. I see it with you. You're not gonna, yeah, unless you're super dedicated and you've got a goal and you know all the steps, you know what you're gonna do. You're you're gonna feel a little lost. You're gonna feel a bit. It is a bit daunting, I must say, because yes, I understand. My first time there, I'm not familiar with it. So what? No one's gonna judge you. If anything, everyone's gonna respect you. They're gonna be like, oh, at least he's showing up. At least he's trying. At least he started, right? No one's gonna judge you, man. I promise no one's gonna judge you. I felt very judged all the time, especially when I first started. But that was because I didn't realize that people simply don't care. They really don't care what you're doing. You feel like all the eyes are on you. That's not the truth. No one cares. No one gives a shit. I promise no one cares. This is daunting to me. This, yeah, it's not the easiest thing to do. Now you may say, oh, but you're just sitting in front of camera. Yeah, I know that, man. I know that. But then there's the whole like getting in front of the camera, speaking, and then uploading it, which, sets you up for possible backlash or possible whatever. I say to that, fuck it. Who cares? No one really cares, like, and if people want to hate, they're always gonna hate, they're always gonna find something to diss you on or whatever. Not you can never please everyone, and that's fine. All you have to do is please yourself. Make sure that it works for you. Take care of your loved ones, of yourself, and that's it. Back to gym. I'd say skip the part where, you're like, yeah, man, I have to get as big as possible in the shortest time possible. Or, depends where you start from, obviously. I started from being a bit skinny. My journey was a bit like this. It was a bit weird. It was chubby, skinny, fat and strong, lean, relatively lean, but light, like 70 something kilos. 74 was my lowest. And then back to strong and chubby, and then strong and lean, and then I've just stayed strong and lean, like relatively lean. Now I'm leaner because I decided, summertime, baby, it's time to get lean and shit, beach. But anyway, yeah, starting off, I would say skip the part where you're like, but I'm skinny, but I don't really like that. I'd say skip that, because then I feel like myself, yeah, I saw gains. My highest was 86 kilos at like 17, at 182. Is that optimal? No. Did I put on that much muscle? No. Am I bigger now? Of course. Am I marginally bigger now? Yes. I would say. Because at the time, yes, fine, I was big, but I was fluffy. I was more chub than anything else. Obviously, yes, I was big, I was stronger, but I'm stronger now, which is ironic. I weigh less. I weigh 80. 6 kilos less. That's a big difference. I would say that, skip that part, simply because it's not worth it. If you're starting off skinny, start working out, start eating more, but don't eat in too big of a surplus. Dirty bulking is only meant for pussies who aren't disciplined and they just want to find a reason to just eat like shit. And then they're still like, oh, but bro, I can't get big. Yeah, man, you're eating chicken tenders. Of course you can't get big. Fucking idiot. Eating deep fried bullshit, of course. Refined oils, seed oils, the devil, no. Don't do that, skip it, please skip it. Protein, debatable. I mean, sorry, no, not debatable. Let me clarify. Whey protein powders. If you're starting off and you really cannot like hit your protein goals per day, which are 1 pound per no 1 gram per pound of body weight or 2.2 grams per kilo of body weight, right? Awesome. You can go a little under, you can go a little over. If you're a little under, no big deal. You'll be fine. Just always try to hit that 1 pound, 1 gram per pound of body weight. Protein intake is important. Yes, it is. It really is. But yeah, no, as I was saying, the bulk or the cut, in my opinion, big psyop to get you either really fat or really skinny. Because unless you're a professional, right, you don't need to be fucking shoveling rice and chicken down your mouth, fucking blah, blah, blah. No, there's no need. There's really no need. Just eat enough, eat enough protein, eat enough protein, eat enough carbs, eat enough fats. Otherwise, your dick don't work, right? Because if you're cutting from let's say you're fat, right? You are fat. You have a BMI of above 24. You are fat by scientific standards, right? You are overweight. You're trying to drop some weight. Oh, cool. What's the best approach? Best approach for you, I would say, lock in, go to the gym, minimum 4 days a week, active recovery in between, and I would say you're set. And obviously fix your diet. Your diet, that's a different topic, but gym-wise, that's all you need to do. You have to lock the fuck in when it comes to your training. People say, oh, but training's only like 20%. I beg to differ. Fine, if you're eating well and you're eating clean and you're eating under your maintenance or whatever, yeah, fine, you're gonna stay lean. Are you gonna get stronger? No, man, of course not. It doesn't make sense. You're not putting your muscles under any form of strain. You aren't gonna get stronger if you simply don't train. It makes perfect sense, logically even. You know, like you have a video game, right? Since you love to play video games, because you're a bitch. You have a video game, right? If you just keep it on the open screen, yeah, man, it's there, you know. Game's on. You're not making any progress, are you? Like, yeah, fine, it's there. It's gonna stay there. It's gonna stay exactly the same way. It's like that. You know, if you want another metaphor, fine. I'll give you another metaphor since you love metaphors, right? You have a recipe you want to do. Pardon me. You have a recipe you want to do, and you have all the fucking ingredients. You have them laid out all over your kitchen. But then you just leave it there. What are you achieving? Nothing. It's there. Yes, it's there. It's accessible. It's there. What's it gonna do? Nothing. It's still gonna be there. Do you see my point? Lock in. When it comes to gym, lock in. Do your thing. Yes. Explore the different ways. I say, try PPL. Push-pull legs. Try push-pull legs. I used to do push-pull legs. I enjoyed it. It was nice. 6 days a week. Push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs. PPL Arnold. Also cool. What is PPL Arnold? Push-pull legs. Then Arnold is basically a chest, back, arms, legs. Yeah. Not bad. I mean, listen, just not my thing. I feel like chest and back on one day is very fucking straining, and in my opinion, way too much to do on one day. I say adapt it to how you're eating, how you're feeling, all that jazz. Because if you're eating a lot, you've got a lot of energy, you feel fucking, you feel like you can take on the world, go ahead, bro, do split, whatever. Exercise is another big thing, completely personal. In my opinion, I'm not gonna drop all the sauce here, am I? No, of course not. You gotta follow. But something that gives you enough stretch and enough contraction. Obviously, at a weight where you have substantial, where you put in substantial effort, where by the 10th rep you're meant to be fucking crying, like, I can't, you need some fucking hype man to be like, yeah, push that shit, man, fuck, push that shit. And you're just there like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. But then you can, because you not being able to do it is a state of mind, okay? You not being able to do it is a limiting belief that you set there in your mind before you even fucking entered in the gym, okay? Do you understand? Do you understand how much your mindset can have a big fucking difference on how you live on a day-to-day basis? Fucking look at me. Do you think I believe that I could get this fucking beautiful and big? Of course not. And then I made that switch because I was like, oh shit, this is completely achievable. Naturally. Do not get, brushed off or demotivated when you see these 14, 15-year-olds on peptides that are, that look way better than you do. Of course, they're on peptides. They have an edge. Where's your edge? Where's your edge? Your edge is meant to be you fucking pushing and pushing. Lock in. Please, lock in. For your own sake, lock in.